In this video we are talking about how to deal with arguments in a relationship.
And some advice how to resolve a conflict and how to stop fighting.
Ahoy! And welcome to another relationship talk video with Simi and Danny.
In this series we are talking about any kind of relationship problems and questions coming from you.
And except of this kind of videos, we are also doing on our channel couple vlogs and couple challenges, and we started a new podcast which is called Small Talk. So if you feel like, consider to subscribe or listen on Spotify
And other platforms. This time we make it a little bit unusual because we didn't choose a question from you for this video.
We just thought it might be quite an important thing to have for a relationship to talk about this topic as well.
Yeah, definitely. And we also had personal experience few weeks ago with this topic. And we were just like, let's do a video about it, let's just talk about it, and maybe we can also help some of you or at least give you our point of view.
Yeah, exactly, that's what it's about, because most probably all of you are arguing sometimes with your partner, and it's really not a nice thing, I have to say, sometimes to argue at all. And maybe you can also really take something out of it because of our relationship and our experiences with it. It is completely fine to argue sometimes. It's just completely normal. It should be even happening in a relationship.
Yeah, we think that if you argue with your partner, it's also like, of course it's not nice and nobody wants that, but it's also like you care about your partner. Because for example, it's so easy to say, oh, why I'm arguing just with you, I'm not arguing with my friends, for example. But with your friends you have still this border, like you are not that close as to your boyfriend or to your girlfriend, and you just have like this border there where you also just don't care anymore that much.
That's maybe a good thing to mention, because we said it also before in one video already, and it's also counting in this situation that you are just very close to your partner. Just to repeat it quickly, you're so close to your partner that it's almost like yourself.
Yeah, it's like you're one.
You're like in this one bubble together, and there is no border anymore, like shame, like how shall I say, it's just that you are so freaking close.
Yeah, and you of course also expect so much more from the partner that is so close to you, because he should know you and he should figure things out and blah blah, and it's like,
exactly,
the closer you are, I think the more normal it is to sometimes have arguments. So the question is not really about it if to argue or not, but how to deal with arguing and how to argue like that it is coming something out of it, and how to argue effectively.
Exactly, because it can be actually so positive in the end.
Yeah.
I mean, there are just different type of persons, and some things can be also almost sick already, like a jealousy type, for example, that can be really hard situations as well, and we know that some people are in these situations, in this kind of relationship. So please, this is just for like the normal kind of relationship where you sometimes argue.
Yeah, we are talking about this daily basis arguing, like about stupid little things.
Exactly.
I don't want to call it daily, but the daily problems arguing. It would be not good if it would be daily. Okay, that can actually end up very positively, and that's what Danny wanted to say. Like, you have to learn in the relationship how to make the most out of it, and how to not constantly repeat the same argument and arguing all over again, and that's the worst thing.
So what do you think is that kind of thing what couples are like arguing about all the time?
We, for example, have this problem what maybe a lot of you don't have, because we are talking in English and it's not our mother tongue, it's not mine and it's not Danny's, and it's very often happening that we are arguing because we just simply really don't understand the exact meaning, how the other person mean it. And it's also very often happening that in Slovak language, if I translate something literally to the English, it has completely different meaning and level of like feelings in it in the German language.
Oh yeah, that's actually something really important at least for our relationship, and maybe you also have it like that, I just sometimes answer something what is completely normal for me, and it feels emotion-wise and feeling-wise completely normal. It's nothing bad on it. But for Simi, if she translates it back to in her head into her language, it's like
offending,
an insult almost. And I'm just saying, like, by the way, something like, and she's like, what?
And I'm like, how could you say that? And then he thinks I'm overreacting, and then I think he's not empathic. I say that so often to you. Like, you're not empathic, and then we figure out after 2 hours of arguing that actually that's the language problem.
It's a misunderstanding in the end, mostly.
Yeah, but that's definitely our personal problem. But let's say in general, okay, I think very often in a relationship it can be like you just expect your partner to do or know or think something what is not happening, and that gets on your nerves. Like, how could you not think about it, that I will this and this do, and you should do this and this, or you are not thinking about me, or you're not considering it that this could happen, and that can like very often happen.
Now it's also a little bit like, I mean, not every couple has a problem, maybe, more certainly not, but it's also maybe a guy-girl thing, you know, that girls are thinking a bit differently.
That's another topic.
Guys, I think it could be also sometimes, because guys are sometimes like stupid. They're like, in the head it's like, they're a bit like, they don't take it so serious, and they're just duh, and then she's like, how you can just duh?
And I am already thinking between the lines of the 77th page, and he's still just like, what?
Exactly. Or you just sit somewhere, and then it's like, why are you sitting? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, I was just sitting.
I really hate that. When I'm, for example, cooking, answering the messages, cleaning the dishwasher out, and preparing also something else in the kitchen, all things at once, and he's sitting on the phone, and I'm doing it everything, like I feel like I have 700 hands, like octopus, you know, doing everything, and then I'm just suddenly out of the blue just like, why are you just sitting? But the poor Danny, he doesn't even know that something is happening. But I'm already expecting him to see me, that I have enough, and he should come and he should help, because he
it's very often about it, and I think a lot of people also have that your emotions inside are sometimes not shown outside, which can trigger then, which triggers yourself sometimes, then with more other things that the person is not thinking about it. Exactly.
Definitely, how you react. That's definitely one big thing. And then of course what can be still in a relationship, like if you forget about something, like you promise something, you don't do it, or if you change plans, like for example you promise something and then it's not happening, and then you are like sad because of it, the other person, or like little things like this.
Little things. Maybe you also have experiences. You just write us in the comments what are you arguing about most of the time, because I think it differs very much on the relationship and on the persons and everything.
Definitely.
So it would be actually quite interesting.
So what is like the most important thing like you have to understand is that you still, even if you are in this super close relationship and you feel like you are one and you are a team and you are together, you still have to understand that the other person is a different person with completely own character, completely different personality, and he likes, thinks and do different things than you.
And most probably he will argue different than you.
Yeah, definitely. It's also very important to know your partner and how he is, and what are you dealing with, and also to respect it. And I know it's super hard in that moment. It's like you hate each other in that moment. Like how you say like love and hate is so close, it's really true. Like in that moment, like you hate that person. But you still have to have in the back of your head, this is my partner, we love each other.
We got to the point where we just said once, okay, look, we love each other, we want to be together. It's not about the argument itself. It's like also put your ego a little bit down, just for a second, think about it, really realize it. And I, for example, go there and say, look, I hug her, for example. That helps so much, so much to just hug the person and say, look, I know we are arguing, we can still discuss it, we can
Yeah,
still
it doesn't mean
argue.
that you are not arguing anymore. Yeah.
Exactly, but you can show the other person already in the argument, and it's very hard to switch that because you
hard.
are angry. To switch over and say, look, I really love you still, it's just an argument, and you go there for a hug, and maybe sometimes it even stops the whole argument because
We had that.
we had that often even.
Yeah, we had that. Like, I am definitely the loud person when we argue.
I
Because
think everybody understood that already.
I am like that I just have to put it out because I have a physical pain inside of me when we argue. Like, it really hurts. I don't know how to describe it, like, physically. And if I would not put it out, I feel like I would like literally explode. Like, it has to go out, you know? And then it's like he's like a snake. He's quiet, but he's like poison. When he sometimes comes and he's just hugging me, there's like completely shock. It's like you don't expect it. And on something so positive, you cannot just react ugly. You cannot. You can just test it. Like, once you're arguing, you can think about it and just like test it if it's working.
You have to learn these processes, and even when we were arguing a lot and big, we said afterwards we have to somehow find a way to not argue like this anymore. I mean, we will always argue about some things, it will always happen again and again, but there have to be some ways to it, and we learned it, and we even said to each other, next time when we argue very badly, then let's just try it. That's what Simi just meant. Make maybe together a rule for arguing. I mean, I always think about this How I Met Your Mother episode where Marshall and Lily,
but that's really not
but
realistic.
where Marshall and Lily are arguing and they're like, pause, and then they're completely normal.
They even
eat
make
something.
out or something.
Exactly. And then they just put the whole argument away out of their head and let it out. It's like just gone for the time. And then they say, okay, now continue.
Yeah.
That's maybe a little bit.
It's not realistic.
It's not so realistic, but
it's showing.
in a way
Yeah.
you can make rules for your relationship however you want. And also about arguing.
Because all of these small arguments that we are talking about at the moment, they are not worthy to break up or something. It's stupid things. So definitely put down your ego a little bit and maybe also think about it like, is it really me or it's just my ego that is not allowing to make it up, for example, or to do something, or to say sorry. Oh, it's so important to say sorry, guys.
I'm personally a person who has absolutely no problem to say, okay, each side says the opinion about something, and then it could be done for me. I could just say, okay, you see it like that, I see it like that, let's let it like that, let's be good and fine. But Simi, she needs to have this sorry in the end, and she needs to know that I understood why she was angry at.
But I also don't have problem to say sorry for my side.
That's true.
I just need this ending there. I just need this, like, now we are good, we know what we were arguing about, and we move on.
Yeah.
Like, for me, argument...
You need an ending.
Yeah, for me it cannot be without ending, because that is just ongoing and you hold it inside. So you don't have to directly say sorry like for the whole thing, like I'm sorry, it's everything my fault, definitely not. You can also say like I'm sorry that you are hurted from that what I said, or that it made you feel that way.
That you didn't want.
That I didn't wanted it,
Exactly.
I'm sorry for that. But I did it because this and this happened, or I did it because I felt like I have to protect myself and this was this. So you can say at least like these little sorries in between, and that's also showing that you care.
And it doesn't mean that you give in, that you don't have your own opinion still about it.
Also doesn't mean that you take the whole responsibility. It's
exactly.
just...
Because it's sometimes really like that your partner is just having a complete different mindset and sees things differently like you, and it's hard to understand that sometimes.
It doesn't even have to be anybody's fault. It can really just be like different understanding, different point of view, and the person just sees the world differently and understands the world differently.
As we always say, communication, talking with each other, talking even in the argument with each other. The thing is, sometimes you are just really so angry and you do and say things on purpose, just with the purpose of hurting the other person.
Oh yeah, that's the
and
purpose.
it just puts like
it's just
more coal into the fire. It's like
making it worse.
you just shoot it, and I have to say, I admit it, I'm sometimes a person, I know very good sometimes how to hurt people with words. I'm just very good at that, and it's just so easy for me sometimes, and I can just like put this little, it has to be just half a sentence, like zack, 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 and it's not good at all. Nobody is profiting from it, not even you.
Because that's exactly what we were talking about. Then in the end you are not anymore arguing about that stupid dishwasher not made, but you are arguing about that, how he was reacting and what he said to me, and how could you even say something like that, and it means you are not loving me, and so definitely do not do things on purpose just because you are mad.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's also just like self-control, definitely.
Oh, self-control, completely agree with that, because you really have to actively think about it while you are in the argument, while you have all these emotions inside of you, to just that you want to have an end. I mean, that's it, right?
You also have to allow that end to happen, so you don't always push your partner away all over again, that it's lasting 7 hours. Like, you have to allow it to be stopped, and also respect the personal space. Like, some people, for example, love to go for a few minutes away from the room, and if you're coming and just pushing them to the corner, sometimes even physically, that can escalate so bad.
I had once a girlfriend, when we were arguing, I felt like I want to go outside, I want to leave the flat, for example, and she even locked the door and took the keys, and she just trapped me inside of it.
Oh, I would explode.
And that was really hard, I have to say, and it's not helping at all.
So you should definitely respect the needs of the other person.
With you, I don't have it mostly like that, that I really feel like that I just go out or so, that I just take a walk outside or so. But that time I really had it like that, and I bet a lot of people have it like that.
Yeah,
that
or
they
you
just want to quickly go out.
You just have to leave and slam the door and be in the other room for 5 minutes, but I would also then leave that person there a little bit. Like, you don't have to directly come and blah 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 blah, why and why. So respect personal space, respect the differences, and go for it that you want to stop. Don't do things on purpose. And don't hurt on purpose just because you are at the moment mad, because very often it's coming back to you, and sometimes it's also like you are then very sad about yourself, like what you did. And how to resolve a conflict, that's also definitely coming then just with the communication afterwards. Like, you stop fighting and then you should sit down. You can cool down, you can also make it a little bit later, but you should sit down, you should talk about it. What actually happened, why it happened, and like, make this not happen again.
Exactly. So these are our point of views, our experiences. I think we went this time really private.
And definitely also write us your point of view, your advices. We always love in the comment section that this conversation is opening, and maybe you can put something inside what we forgot, and some people could profit from it.
If you agree or disagree, if you want to add something, if you think that it's not so easy sometimes or whatever, just add it to the comments. Let's have this conversation. Like always, we open it up for all.
Definitely. And if you have some bigger, one exact problem that you are arguing with your boyfriend or girlfriend about, then write us definitely that problem. You can email us, or you can just write us here on YouTube or on Instagram or on Facebook, and we can make another relationship talk video on that exact problem.
Of course, it doesn't have to be about arguing, it can be whatever kind of relationship related problem topic. So thank you so much for watching. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Where else we are? Listen to our podcast if you feel like we are talking there, also sometimes a little bit more private, like in this video. Maybe.
Definitely. We also have a PO box where you can send us a postcard from wherever you live, and that will be on that wall there in the back.
Exactly, we have already a lot of here from all around the world.
And the cactus.
And the cactus also came from one of you. So,
and if you want to support us, then we have a little Patreon site.
Patreon.com, Simi and Danny.
We love you. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and definitely see you soon in the next video.
If you feel like just watch another vlog now after this video or another relationship talk video. So, see you very, very soon.
Ahoj!
Ahoj!